Welcome to Hidden Bible Stories, where ancient mysteries come alive. In this series, we unveil forgotten revelations, celestial encounters, and divine secrets buried deep within sacred texts. Prepare to journey beyond the visible world into realms where angels walk, where heaven opens, and where chosen men witness the unimaginable. If you're ready to explore the mysteries God once revealed to humanity, then you're in the right place. But before the world drowned under the roaring waves of the great flood for judgment thundered. Across the earth there lived a man unlike any other. His name echoed through ancient valleys and whispered across generations. Enoch, son of Jared, the one whom God himself chose, while humanity chased corruption and earthly power. Enoch walked a different path, one of purity, humility, and a devotion so deep that the heavens themselves took notice. He was a craftsman of extraordinary skill, a man with hands shaped by labor and a mind sharpened by wisdom. But it was not his talent that elevated him, it was his heart. Where others sought the praises of men, Enoch sought the presence of God. And because of this, the Lord opened to him doors no mortal had ever crossed. One night, under the silence of the stars, Enoch felt a stirring in his soul. It was as if the world itself held its breath. For years, he had sensed something approaching, a calling, a destiny circling him like a gentle wind. But nothing could prepare him for what was about to unfold. Enoch often wandered into the quiet places where the earth felt untouched and the air seemed to vibrate with divine presence. There he prayed, there he listened, and there God granted him glimpses, brief, trembling flashes of realities beyond human comprehension. Not visions of earth, but of heaven, radiant beings, colossal realms, and harmonies too perfect for mortal ears. Yet those glimpses were only the beginning. The ancestors said that Enoch walked with God, and that simple sentence hides the weight of a cosmic truth. Enoch was not just a believer, he was a companion to the divine, and it was this closeness that would soon change his life forever. At the age of 165, Enoch became the father of Methuselah, a child whose name would one day be etched in time. But even fatherhood did not slow the quiet march of destiny. For 2 more centuries, Enoch lived faithfully, teaching righteousness, resisting the wickedness spreading across the world, and speaking words inspired directly by the heavens. Yet one day, something unusual happened. As Enoch slept, a deep sorrow washed over him. His spirit trembled, and tears streamed from his closed eyes. He did not know why he wept, only that something vast and divine was moving toward him. The sun had not yet risen when 2 figures descended from the heavens in silence. They did not approach like men, they glided like living flames. When Enoch opened his eyes, he saw them towering, majestic, unlike anything he had imagined even in his visions. Their faces glowed like the blazing sun. Their eyes flickered like twin fires. Their garments shimmered in radiant purple, and their wings shone more brilliantly than gold. Even the air itself seemed to bend around them. Fear seized him, but the beings spoke gently. "Fear not, Enoch, the eternal God has sent us. Today you will ascend with us into the heavens. But first, tell your household what they must do in your absence. No one must seek you until God returns you." With trembling hands and a heart pounding like thunder, Enoch obeyed. He gathered his sons Methuselah, Regime, and Gadand delivered a final message. He told them to cling to righteousness, to resist the illusions of false gods, to stay faithful even when the world turned to darkness. His voice shook, not from fear, but from the weight of his calling. And when his final words faded, the angels stepped forward, their hands white as snow lifted him effortlessly. The wind roared beneath them, the earth shrank below, and Enoch, the humble craftsman chosen by God, rose into the very realms he had only glimpsed in prayer. His journey had begun, and what awaited him in the heavens would change the understanding of creation forever. And when his final words faded, the angels stepped forward, their hands white as snow lifted him effortlessly. The wind roared beneath them, the earth shrank below, and Enoch, the humble craftsman chosen by God, rose into the very realms he had only glimpsed in prayer. His journey had begun, and what awaited him in the heavens would change the understanding of creation forever. Enoch gasped when he saw it. The dew shone like liquid light, soft golden, gentle. It glimmered like olive oil, and yet reflected every color of every flower on earth. Angels dipped their hands into it and released drops that sparkled like tiny suns. This dew, the angels told him, is the blessing of the earth. It nourishes the soil and renews creation each morning. The Lord has commanded it to descend in seasons and measures known only to him. Enoch bowed his head, overcome with awe. Every detail of heaven pulsed with divine purpose. Nothing was random, nothing was chaotic. Everything was woven into a tapestry of perfect order, and yet this was only the beginning. Enoch realized that the first heaven was not merely a realm of beauty, it was a realm of governance, discipline, and eternal precision. Creation did not sustain itself. Angels, under God's authority, tended it every moment. Then, with a voice like rolling waters, one of his celestial guides spoke. "Enoch, the first heaven has been shown to you, but there are heights far greater, mysteries far deeper. Prepare yourself, for you will witness what no mortal has ever known." The angels extended their wings, glowing brighter than the sun. The air trembled, the clouds parted beneath them. And once again, Enoch was lifted upward, a realm darker, heavier, and filled with sorrow. The second heaven awaited him. As Enoch ascended from the first heaven, the brilliance around him gradually dimmed. The luminous clouds dissolved into a thick, somber mist, a veil that seemed to swallow light itself. The angels guiding him remained calm, but their radiance seemed sharper here, a contrast against the shadowed expanse that stretched before them. "Enoch," one whispered, "prepare your heart. What you are about to see will weigh heavily on your soul." Enoch looked down and saw a darkness deeper than night, a vast void, where the air felt thick and heavy, filled with whispers of anguish. Here, unlike the first heaven, the splendor of creation was absent. Instead, he saw souls suspended in endless torment, frozen in fear, chained by invisible bonds that shimmered like molten iron. The prisoners' eyes were hollow, their voices echoing in sorrowful cries that filled the darkness. Enoch's chest tightened with a weight he had never known. The angels guided him closer. "These," said one of the radiant beings, "are the souls of those who have abandoned God. They followed their desires instead of the Creator's will. They rebelled and turned from righteousness. Their leader is bound far above in the fifth heaven, but his influence spreads here." Enoch's heart ached at the sight. Some of the prisoners reached toward him, pleading, "Servant of God, pray for us." Enoch recoiled, shaking his head. "I am but a mortal. How can I intercede for angels, for souls whose deeds have already sealed their fate? I do not know what will become of me." The angels moved him onward, deeper into the second heaven, where the darkness thickened and the cries of the lost grew louder. As Enoch followed the guides, he realized the second heaven was a place of judgment, consequence, and reflection. Here, the choices of life, rebellion, and sin were revealed in stark reality. Every act of pride, greed, and idolatry bore its mark upon the prisoners, and the angels enforced divine law with unwavering precision. In the distance, Enoch saw glimpses of the chained leader, a figure of immense power and darkness, whose rebellion had caused this realm of sorrow. Even from afar, his presence was suffocating, a reminder of the cost of defiance against the Creator. Yet, amidst the suffering, Enoch noticed moments of subtle mercy, a flicker of hope, a pause in torment, as if the Lord's grace lingered even in judgment. It reminded him that even in darkness, the Creator's wisdom and justice reigned supreme. Finally, after what felt like an eternity in the shadowed expanse, the angels guided Enoch toward the boundary of the second heaven. Before him appeared a faint glimmer of light, a promise that the trials of this realm were not the end. Beyond lay the third heaven, a place of unimaginable wonder, life, and divine glory. The angels spoke softly, "Enoch, the second heaven has shown you the consequences of rebellion and the weight of mortal choice. But take heart, the heavens are layered with lessons, and the Creator's design is perfect. Prepare yourself for what is to come. The third heaven awaits, and it holds the joy of eternal revelation." Once again, the angels spread their majestic wings. lifting Enoch beyond the shadows and toward a brilliance that made the darkness of the second heaven seem like a distant memory. As Enoch left behind the shadows of the second heaven, a blinding radiance enveloped him. The darkness vanished entirely, replaced by a splendor that no earthly description could capture. The angels guiding him glowed even more brilliantly, their wings casting a kaleidoscope of light across the infinite expanse. "Behold," Enoch said one of the celestial beings, "the third heaven, the faithful dwelt, and the glory of God is revealed in all its perfection." Before Enoch's eyes stretched vast gardens of life and light, where trees bore fruits of unimaginable beauty. Each fruit radiated colors more vivid than any flower or gemstone on earth. Rivers of honey and milk, wine and oil meandered through the landscape, flowing in perfect harmony, creating 4 great streams that nourished the entire realm. The air was filled with a fragrance that stirred his soul, sweet yet invigorating, a scent beyond any earthly experience. At the center of this paradise stood the tree of life, towering and majestic, its leaves shimmering like gold, its branches stretching endlessly toward the heavens. It pulsed with divine energy, the very heartbeat of creation. And Enoch understood instinctively that this tree was a direct connection to the Creator's presence. Angels moved gracefully through the gardens, their voices joining in a continuous, harmonious chant that resonated with the rhythm of the universe itself. Their songs were not words as humans understood them, yet they carried knowledge, truth, and an ineffable joy. "These," the angel said, "are the faithful, those who have walked in righteousness, who have fed the hungry, clothed the poor, helped the weak, and honored the Creator in all their deeds. They dwell here eternally, shielded from corruption and sorrow." Enoch marveled at the detail of this realm. Every creature, every river, every tree seemed alive with purpose. He saw angels tending the gardens, nurturing life, and guiding souls who had proven steadfast. There was no fear here, only the radiant harmony of divine order. Suddenly, a fragrance of holiness grew stronger as the angels led Enoch toward the northern part of the third heaven. Here, the air shimmered with divine energy, revealing a glimpse of the Creator's throne. Though he could not see the throne fully, Enoch felt its immense power. The light here was so intense that it cast shadows even on the brightest objects, as if the very radiance was too vast for mortal comprehension. In this realm, Enoch also noticed symbols of divine justice and mercy intertwined. While the faithful thrived in glory, the lessons of the second heaven lingered in his mind, a reminder that every choice carries weight, and every action leaves an imprint on eternity. The balance between reward and consequence was woven seamlessly into the very fabric of this heaven. The angels then pointed to the 4 rivers, explaining their significance. These rivers flow from the bounty of the tree of life and carry blessings to the worlds below. They sustain creation, reminding all who witness them of the Creator's provision and care. Enoch's heart swelled with awe and gratitude. He understood now that the heavens were not mere spaces of light or darkness. They were living reflections of divine wisdom, designed to teach, to reward, and to maintain cosmic harmony. Before moving on, the angels said, "Remember, Enoch, everything you witness is part of the Lord's plan. The third heaven is the reward for those who remain faithful, but there are still lessons to learn. Prepare yourself for what lies ahead. The northern and upper heavens hold mysteries even more profound." With that, they lifted Enoch higher, ready to reveal the wonders of the next heavenly realm. Ascending from the third heaven, Enoch felt a transformation in his very being. The divine light around him was no longer soft and inviting, it was precise, orderly, and full of purpose. The angels guiding him moved with measured grace, their wings leaving trails of shimmering energy that marked the path to the fourth heaven. "This is the realm where the cosmos is managed," said one of the radiant beings. The angels then revealed the measurements of time, a cosmic calendar stretching thousands of years. Enoch learned that the solar year, with its 365 days and a quarter, and the great period of 532 years, were not arbitrary. They were a reflection of divine precision, ensuring balance and order across creation. As he looked further, Enoch saw extraordinary creatures beyond his mortal comprehension. Winged beings with blazing feathers that reflected the light of the sun, and creatures that sang with voices like chimes of crystal. These beings maintained harmony in the celestial mechanics, ensuring that the heavenly spheres moved without interruption. The angels whispered, "Observed carefully, Enoch, the fourth heaven is where the Creator's wisdom becomes visible through order and rhythm. Every movement, every cycle is a reflection of divine intelligence. Chaos has no place here, only precision, only purpose." Enoch marveled at the intricacy. He realized that what humans call time and seasons were not random events. They were deliberate, sacred structures meant to guide life, growth, and the fulfillment of the Creator's plan. Finally, the angels turned Enoch's gaze toward the north, where the cycles of light and darkness intertwined. Here, the secrets of the heavenly calendar were guarded, and only the most faithful could comprehend their full meaning. Enoch felt humbled, yet honored, knowing he was entrusted to witness such mysteries. Before preparing to ascend further, the angels reminded him, "Remember, Enoch, everything you see is part of the Lord's grand design. Share it faithfully, for the knowledge of these realms is a gift that illuminates the path of the righteous." Enoch ascended higher, leaving behind the ordered brilliance of the fourth heaven. A chill unlike anything on earth enveloped him, a cold tinged with sorrow and fire. The angels guiding him spoke softly, yet with weighty authority. "This is the fifth heaven. Enoch, here dwell the rebellious ones, the fallen angels and their progeny, bound by chains of divine judgment." The angels led Enoch to the outer boundaries of the realm, where the faint glow of the sixth heaven could be glimpsed beyond the darkness. Here, the lessons of divine justice were etched into every stone, every chain, every flame. Enoch understood the Creator's wisdom was not only mercy but also righteous justice, perfect and unwavering. Enoch entered the eighth heaven with awe so deep it silenced even his thoughts. It was unlike any realm he had seen before, vast, luminous, and quieter than eternity itself. Here, the light did not shine, it breathed. Every glow felt alive, as if the heavens themselves were aware of his presence. Two radiant beings approached him, angels so bright they seemed woven from pure starlight. At Enoch, they said gently, "You now stand in the treasury of stars, the place where the movements of the cosmos are written and preserved." Before him floated giant spheres of light, each one holding the patterns of worlds, moons, and celestial cycles. They rotated in perfect harmony, guided by forces he could not fully comprehend. Whenever a star was born, a spark flared in the treasury. When a star died, a gentle dimming rippled across the chambers. Enoch asked, "Who keeps all these wonders in balance?" The angels pointed to a towering tome made entirely of shimmering crystal. "This is the book of cosmic law," they explained. "In it are written the rhythms of creation, how stars breathe, how time flows, how seasons unfold upon every world God has formed. Nothing in the heavens moves without purpose. Nothing is random. Everything follows his law." Enoch stepped closer, and the book opened on its own. Inside, he saw living symbols, letters made of light that rearranged themselves into patterns and melodies. As he looked, understanding washed over him, not as knowledge he learned, but knowledge he remembered, as though it had been placed in his soul from the beginning. He saw how light conquers darkness, how order stabilizes chaos, and how God's wisdom sustains every corner of creation. Then the angels revealed something even more astonishing. Within this heaven are the guardians of cosmic harmony angels, who ensure that the laws recorded here are never broken. Should a star fall out of its appointed path, they guide it back. Should cosmic forces clash, they restore balance. Enoch saw them massive beings with wings like galaxies, their presence both comforting and overwhelmingly powerful. One of these guardians approached him and spoke in a voice like thunder, softened by kindness. "Enoch, son of man, tell your people that the universe is not chaotic. Every heartbeat, every season, every sunrise is a reflection of God's perfect design." Enoch bowed his head, overwhelmed by the immensity of what he had witnessed. The eighth heaven was not only a place of beauty, it was the blueprint of creation, the record of how God's masterpiece operates. As he prepared to leave, the angels said, "Carry this knowledge with reverence. When humanity understands the order of the cosmos, they will understand the heart of the Creator." Enoch ascended into the ninth heaven, and immediately he felt the difference. There was no boundary, no horizon, only infinite brightness, a purity so intense it seemed to sing. Yet the light did not blind him, it welcomed him, lifting his spirit higher than ever before. The angels who guided him bowed their heads, their voices hushed. "Enoch, this is the heaven of the thrones, the realm closest to the presence of the Most High. What you are about to witness is hidden from all but a chosen few." Before Enoch rose a sight so magnificent that his knees weakened, countless thrones of living light, each occupied by an angelic being whose radiance surpassed the glory of suns. Their faces were serene, their wings stretching like vast rivers of fire and crystal. These were the thrones, the ancient beings who guard the holiness of God's eternal order. Their very presence stabilized the cosmos. When they spoke, galaxies trembled. When they sang, the fabric of existence aligned itself in harmony. One of the thrones addressed Enoch directly. "Do not fear, beloved scribe. You have been brought here to behold the order of divine authority. From this heaven, decrees flow to all creation." The angel extended a hand, and before Enoch appeared a scroll glowing with living fire. "This," the angel said, "is the scroll of divine mandate. Every command issued from the Most High passes through us, that it may reach the heavens, the earth, and the realms unseen." Enoch watched as symbols of immeasurable power moved across the scroll commands that shaped destinies, determined the rise of nations, and guided the hearts of the righteous. Then the heavens vibrated with a deep hum, the thrones began to sing. Their voices were not words, but waves of pure meaning, harmonies that spoke of justice, mercy, creation, and the eternal presence of God. The sound filled Enoch's entire being, cleansing him of fear, doubt, and weakness. He felt lifted, expanded, filled with strength and understanding beyond human measure. An angel of immense stature approached him and placed a hand upon his shoulder. "Enoch, the Most High has chosen you to be a witness. When you return to your world, tell them not only of the punishments you have seen, but of the immeasurable order and holiness that governs all things. Enoch bowed, trembling with reverence. As he was guided to the gate leading upward, he felt the presence of the divine closer than ever before. The ninth heaven had shown him the architecture of God's authority, pure, eternal, and perfect. And above it all, beyond the sea of radiant thrones, he sensed something greater still. A light so profound it called him upward. The 10th heaven awaited